Hey friends, welcome back to UberTuber for another yoga flow. So this week's yoga flow is going to be a full body flow. It's just going to wake up and make the body a little bit more mobile. So you can do this one at any time throughout the day, morning, noon or night. It's just such a nice way to get the body moving and bring in some good feels. So let's get started. Come down onto your mat. We're going to start in a beautiful child's pose just to get grounded and really arrive in the practice. So taking your knees nice and wide as the mat, and then bringing your big toes into touch. You're going to sink your bum back and down towards your heels, and maybe finding a nice opening up through the hips there. And then really slowly, you might find that it's nice to keep your hands forward and begin to lower your chest towards the mat. And just working within your body today, so if you can't quite make your forehead to the mat, feel free to use a block or a pillow, or even you can stack one hand on top of the other and rest your forehead on your fists, whatever works. And just as we arrive down into the mat, let's just take some gentle rounds of breath just to arrive here. Starting to feel really present and aware of our bodies. And just taking a little moment to thank yourself and acknowledge that just by being here now, noticing your breath, you're already doing yoga. So let's try and practice a little non-judgment throughout this practice. And know that it doesn't matter what your shapes look like, it's all yoga. So let's just make this a judgment-free practice for the next 20 to 30 minutes. And appreciating your body for what it can do rather than what you think that it can't. Nice round of breath to seal that forward, confirm that. So inhale, notice and stretch through that upper back, and then on the exhale, maybe melt a little more than that. You can either stay here, or if you think that it's going to feel nice and you want to wake up through the side body, just start taking your left hand over towards the right side of your mat. Really outstretching it towards that top right corner and anchoring your hip down to that right hand corner, and just filling up with air and noticing a beautiful expansion in the side ribs there. And then on the exhale, let's just walk our hands back through center and over to that left side. Right hand maybe coming on top of the left, but again, no judgment if it doesn't quite make it. Let's just focus on a beautiful inhalation and a nice stretch on the exhalation. Beautiful work. Let's come back into center and then just slowly walk your hands in towards your body. Starting to lift all the way up, and let's come into a nice little 4-point kneel. So bringing our shoulders directly over our wrists and our knees back under our hips. Having a little wriggle or a wiggle if you need to stretch out. And then once you've made your way to stillness, we really want you to press that fleshy part of your palms really firmly into the mat. And then maybe even gripping the mat with your little fingertips there. And as you're doing that, let's just turn your elbow creases forward so that they face the front or the top of your mat. And with that, let's keep that and let's tuck our back toes. And let's slowly press our hands into the mat and lift our hips up into our first downward facing dog. So straightening through the backs of the legs. Maybe you're pedaling or walking the feet out just as we arrive here. It's our first one for the day. Or maybe it's not, maybe you've done yoga before. Just do what feels good for you. And then when you're ready, we're going to meet in stillness. And let's just take a nice round of breaths. So So nice big breath in. Maybe on the exhale as you press through the mat, your chest comes a little bit more towards your thighs, or you turn your gaze to look in towards your belly button. And then on your next inhale, let's roll forward into a plank position. So let's bring our shoulders over our wrists. And let's keep zipping in through our midline here, okay? Take a nice big breath in. And on your exhale, let's just drop the knees down to the mat. Keep those toes tucked. And then let's dip our belly down and take our gaze forward. Nice little cow pose here. Broaden through the collarbones. Shine that heart forward. And come back to a neutral spine. Press through the hands again. Let's lift the knees. Come back to downward facing dog. Noticing how different the backs of the legs are beginning to feel that we're moving through. Let's go through another round of that. So pressing forward, come forward into that plank position, shoulders come over the wrists. Then let's drop the knees down. As we arrive there, our belly dips down, we look forward. This time maybe our shoulders come a little bit further away from our ears. As we make our way back into a neutral spine, we lift our knees and lift our hips all the way up to the sky for our downward facing dog. Let's go for one more. Inhale, rolling forward. And exhale, dropping the knees, dropping the belly. Nice work. Inhale to prepare, make our way back to our downward facing dog. When you get there, let's bring our big toes to touch. And keep pressing through the mat. I want you to lift your heels up off the ground, inhale. Lower them down towards the ground with the exhale. Two more, inhale. Exhale, lengthen. One more, inhale, breath. Exhale. Good. Take a nice big bend in the knees. Let's walk our feet all the way up towards our hands. Coming towards the top of the mat, bending your knees a little or a lot. And then when you get there, just take a nice loose upper back. So wiggle the arms out. Maybe just pulling that belly button into your spine to create a little space. Bend the knees a bit more here. Let's bring the chest a little closer towards the thighs. And then let's make sure that we're not clenching through our jaw. So keep your head a little shake from left to right, up and down, noticing how that feels. And let's walk our hands over towards the right side of the mat. Little side twist, little bend. And then come back through center, really gently. Walk our hands over towards the left. And let's come all the way back into center. Let's take a nice halfway lift here. So drag the hands up the shins. Inhale. And then on your exhale, let's shoot the arms back. So keeping that halfway lift. Got a beautiful flat back here. We're going to extend our arms long and back. And let's lengthen through the spine here. So inhale, like you're being pulled through the crown of your head. But at the same time, someone's pulling your arms back. So we've got a nice long leg, long neck, and a long spine. Our thumbs are pointing towards the ground. And you might be feeling a little bit of heat in the backs of the legs, even the backs of the arms. It's all good. Take a nice big breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come to the ground. Maybe it feels nice if you grab opposite elbows and sort of rock from side to side. Noticing how good it feels to wake up and move. Take your hands back down to your mat. Let's start bending the knees, sinking the bum down, and let's sweep the arms forward and come up into a standing position. So arms reaching up overhead. Maybe your gaze follows. And then grow as tall as you have all class. Extending those hands towards the sky. Giving the bum a little squeeze so that we keep our midline zipped in. Inhale here. Let's take a chair pose on the exhale. So let's keep our arms up towards the sky, but let's sink our bum down towards the ground. When you get to the bottom of your chair, let's just take a notice how this feels. So let's roll our shoulders away from the ears. And maybe we are tipping our hips forward towards the front of the mat, so we've got a nice flat back there. This is a stronger pose than it looks, I know. So let's keep this. You've got two options. We're going to move into a high lunge, so you can either stay here with your hands outstretched, or if you're looking for a little more balance, you can take your hands down to your hips. Your choice, yogi's choice. So you're going to place all the weight into your left foot and then slowly slide or step the right foot back. Beautiful high lunge here. Feeling really nice. Take a nice big breath in, grow tall. And let's exhale, lower down. 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1. We meet in that low lunge position. Hands are outstretched. If they're on your hips, we need to sweep them forward. We're in a nice Anjaneyasana position. And then we're going to move into a half monkey pose. So we're going to straighten through that front leg, taking the hands down towards the mat. Maybe they find the earth for some stability. Just realised I have a full nest on my head. There we go. Come down for some stability. Really flex the toes towards the nose. Just like we did in our halfway lift, let's lengthen through the spine here, maybe rolling the shoulders back and down. Feel free to shoot your arms back if you want. And then exhale, bend that front knee, sweep the arms forward, Anjaneyasana again. Let's do 2 more sweeping, rolling movements just like that. Inhale. Exhale, straighten that front knee. Good. Sweep the arms forward, breath in. Exhale, sweep the arms back. Nice work. Bring the hands towards the earth here. Bend that front knee and let's walk the hands to frame that front foot. Pressing the fingertips or the palms into the mat. Lift that back knee. Power up. Good. Lift the hips just a little. Press the palms flat into the mat and let's step back into our high plank position. Good. Press all the way back into your downward facing dog, so we're pressing through those hands. Let's walk the feet to the top of the mat. Bend the knees as much as you like. Let's find that beautiful forward fold stretch here. Again, you can clasp opposite elbows if that feels good for you. Taking a little movement through the neck. And when you're ready, let's bring our hands down to the mat, fingertips. And let's bend the knees and sweep the arms forward. Let's stand all the way up nice and tall. Take a big breath in, roll the shoulders back and down. But imagine that your arms are being pulled towards the sky, your feet being anchored in towards the mat. Good. Let's keep that and sink back into our chair pose. So bending your knees, send your bum back and down. Opposite side here, so you can either stay here, remember, or if you did on the other side, you can place your hands on your hips. Let's place all the weight into our right foot and step or slide that left foot back. Good. Nice big bend in that front knee. And we're long and powerful in that back leg, so really engage that upper thigh. And then when you're ready, let's lower down, so we're bending that back knee. Lowering down for 3, for 2, for 1. Good. Keep that back toe tucked. Have a little hip check. See if you need to pull that front hip back into the socket. Inhale to prepare, grow tall. And let's move to our half monkey, straighten through that front leg and exhale. Good. Sweep the arms forward, bend the knee. Inhale. And exhale, let's sweep back, straighten. Bring the toes towards the nose. One more, just like that. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, sweep back. Feels nice to move through the hips, through the knees. Let's hold here for a second. And let's extend our hands back. Maybe we're pulling the shoulders away from the ears or pulling the belly button into the spine. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, bring the nose towards the knee. Good, let your hands find the earth and let's bend that front knee. Those hands frame that front foot. And whether you're using fingertips or palms, let's lift that back knee up and we grow strong. Super nice. Now place the palms firmly into the mat and let's step that right foot back to meet the left. We're in a high plank position. Feel free to drop your knees here. We're going to lower all the way down to the mat, your choice. We're going to lower down for 3, so bend those elbows. Keep the midline on for 2, and for 1, we come all the way down. Untuck the back toes so that the tops of your feet are pressing firmly into the mat. So much so that your kneecaps lift off the mat there. Nice, let's take a little Cobra Pose. So pressing into the mat with your hands, lifting the chest up and off the mat. You can keep your eyes closed down if that feels nice. And then coming all the way down. 2 more, just like that. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, roll down. Maybe try and get a little bit of extra height on this next one, but not crunching in through the lower back. Exhale, come all the way down. Now we're going to push back up into our plank position. Feel free to come onto your knees, or if you want to do full plank, tuck the toes, lift those kneecaps up, and let's press all the way back up into our plank position. Then leave the hips. We meet in our downward facing dog. So nice. Let's walk the feet towards the top of the mat, bending the knees a little or a lot. And then when we get there, let's just keep the left hand down, bend the left knee a lot, and let's open up towards the right side. So big twist open, taking that right arm to the sky. Nice twist through the back, opening into the glute. Take a nice breath in. And exhale, forward fold. Switch over to the other side, so placing that right hand down and bending that right knee a lot. Lift the left arm to the sky. Maybe noticing the difference between the two sides. This is definitely my good side, because I think the other side is my excellent side. Someone once told me we always have a good and an excellent, not a good and a bad. I don't like that. Let's do a nice halfway lift here. And exhale, forward fold. Super nice. Just like before, let's bend the knees and sweep the arms forward. And come all the way up into a nice big standing position. And then let's sink back down into our chair. Little change here, so placing all the weight into that left foot. Let's step or slide back that right foot. Nice high lunge. Good work. And then let's open up into our warrior 2. So good. So just a little opening for the hips here. I've got hair going everywhere. Just a nice little opening for the hips. So keeping a nice deep bend in that knee. And then we're going to inhale, straighten through that front leg. Let's bring the arms up overhead. Good. Keep that front leg straight. Let's take the arms out to a nice T position. And then we're going to reach that front left hand forward, 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 while we send our hips back, 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 okay? So you should be getting a nice little stretch through the upper inner thigh. And keep going, keep going. Feel free to stay here, or you can tip into your triangle pose. Knowing that you can always bring a block or a bolster or a book even, just underneath that front hand, just to open up into that side body, into the leg. And you're equally lifting up through the back arch of your foot. Engage that back leg as much as the front. Stay where you are. We're not here for too much longer. Take a nice big breath in. Exhale out any judgment you're holding on to. Beautiful work. Let's make our way back into our warrior 2. Big bend in the front knee. This time I want you to flip that right foot forward. Let's take a nice little forward fold here. So hinging at the hips, coming down. Nice flat back to start with. And then your hands can find the earth, or maybe even they're reaching for the outer blades of your feet. Whatever works well for you. Letting gravity help you here. out. Feeling in the good feels of what it's like to move. And when you're ready, let's place our hands underneath our face. Let's go into a nice halfway lift here too. Exhale, forward fold. And let's bring our hands towards our hips. And slowly rolling all the way up. Rolling all the way up. Nice work. Let's do the other side. So let's take our right foot and turn it to face forward. Let's come into a warrior two on this side. So opening up into the hips. Oh, so nice. Making sure that we're keeping our knee tracking over our toes. So depending on how tight your hips are, mine feel quite tight today. You might need to really consciously make sure that knee is going out towards the pinky toes. And let's extend it out through the arms. Take a nice big breath in to prepare. And exhale, sink a little lower. Good. Inhale, let's straighten through the front leg, reach the arms up over our head. And exhale, take the arms into a T position, like a nice big star. We're going to reach that right arm forward, and send the hips towards the back end of the mat. Good, keep going, feel and enjoy that stretch. And then if you want to, you can tip your hand down and we can come into a nice triangle pose. Really beautiful. Just remembering not to judge your body for where you're at today or tomorrow. You're already here, you're already doing the yoga. Show your body some appreciation for what it is doing. Maybe you feel like you need to press your hips forward to get a little bit more out of the stretch. And extend that hand up towards the sky. Nice work. Take a nice little breath in. Let's move out warrior two. Straighten through that front leg. Let's take another forward fold here. So taking that right foot and turning it so it's parallel to the mat. And let's tip the hip. This time, keep your hands underneath your face. And then maybe you just rock forward onto the balls of your feet. And then back onto the heels. And slowly rocking backwards and forwards, or staying completely still. Nice. Let's come all the way back up. Take your hands to your hips, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And when you're ready, let's roll all the way back up. And then just slowly heel toe your feet all the way back in. So let's just take our feet hip width outside the mat. And then when you're ready, we're going to sink back and down like we're doing a squat. And allow your feet to naturally turn out and track your knees over your toes. And then just allow yourself to sit in wherever feels like your end range of motion is. Never force it, never go where you think your body should be going. Just listen to your body and where it's at. As you slowly get into the pose, you can come down to your yogi squat, maybe lifting one foot, the other foot. So I feel particularly tight in my hips, so sitting in this position is quite the challenge for me today. Alright, maybe settling in, maybe your hands come into prayer position, and your knees, you're pressing your knees out with your elbows. Just holding here, maybe rocking from side to side. And when you're ready, placing your hands down onto your toes, hold onto your toes, give yourself a nice little hamstring stretch. Rocking your hips from side to side. Coming into the center, take a nice halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Good, let's roll all the way up. Take your time. Coming all the way down. Let's take another chair pose. So pressing through all four corners of the feet, let's bend the knees and sweep the arms forward, chair pose. Good, let's hold here, extend the arms out long one more time. And then on your exhale, maybe lift the heels off the ground. Let's lower really slowly all the way down to the ground. Keep this arms up, keep the belly on, and then when you get there, see if you can let your bum find the earth. You can also use your hands to guide you down. Let's just take our legs into a nice V shape here. So extending the right leg and then the left leg out. And maybe even lifting up and anchoring your sit bones down. So pulling out the fleshy parts of your bum there. And just really sitting down. Let's sit up nice and tall. Let's just forward fold. So hinge at the hips like we did earlier in the class, but we're doing it seated this time. And slowly, slowly just begin to creep your hands forward. And curving all the way through the spine, allowing the neck and head to drop really gently as it feels nice. Getting in a nice stretch through the neck, the spine, the upper back. And just letting go of all the effort here, so really allowing gravity just to bring you closer to the earth and stretch all the way down through our backs. You might find that with each sort of exhale, that you millimetre by millimetre get closer to the ground. So let the feet naturally splay out, no need to flex or point the toes. Just starting to take some nice gentle breaths. I'm ready for the last part of class. Really slowly begin to walk your hands back in towards your body. And then just roll up through your vertebrae one by one. And the last thing that comes up is the crown of your head. And if that feels good, maybe giving those shoulders a little roll. So let's just tuck our left foot in. And then just want you to take your left arm around towards your back and your fingers facing away from you. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to lift our hips up towards the sky, but you can also just stay here and do a big reach around if that's what feels good for you. Whatever you like, but if you're coming with me, we're going to press that left hand firmly into the ground. We're going to lift our hips up and take a nice big opening stretch, little back bend, applying lots of pressure through the base of that left hand. Opening up the chest towards the sky, beautiful back bend. And then let's come all the way down, peeling the hips back down towards the ground. Let's go towards the other side. So bring that right foot in, extending that left leg nice and long. Sitting up nice and tall. Place the right hand behind you, fingers facing away. Let's sweep the left arm up as we lift our hips towards the sky. Feeling a beautiful opening through the front body. Remember your options, you can stay seated here. One more final breath, inhale. Exhale maybe a little more. Slowly, slowly returning down. Just feeling that openness through the body. Then let's just spin lengthways. Let's come all the way down. Just one or two more final poses. Laying the spine, melt and roll down into the mat. So nice. Extend your arms nice and long over your head, reaching away, maybe growing as long as you have all class. So point the toes down like a really big good morning stretch. And then just reaching both hands over towards the left side of the mat. Stretch through the side body, anchor down through the hips. Inhale, come through center. Exhale over towards that right side. Maybe even you're taking your right hand and grabbing left wrist and really giving them a nice pull. Beautiful work. Let's come down to center. Let's bring our hands down beside our bodies. Take our feet as wide as the mat. Let's start working and moving into our final posture, our Shavasana. So let's take a nice big breath in. Exhaling out, maybe find a little bit of audible breath here. Just taking a moment to breathe in all that beautiful energy you've created by moving your body. time to do this. Just really allow yourself to settle into this stillness, moments of silence. Gently just start to deepen your breath here. Maybe making your exhales a little bit louder. Just take one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Fall of your chest and belly, just bringing back into awareness here. Feeling extremely grateful for every single breath you take, for every beat of that beautiful, loving heart of yours. Keeping your eyes closed down if you can. When you get there, sitting up nice and tall and proud of yourself for making your time to practice today. And just return that one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. This particular posture or seat with your hands placed in these positions can be a beautiful way to guide you into gratitude practice. Feel free to go there if you have time, or if not, let's just take one more collective breath in together. And the exhale, acknowledgement, a sign of gratitude for yourself, the practice, the time you've allowed. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Let's bow our heads, bring our thumb tips to our third eyes. A silent thank you to our bodies for moving in such a way for practicing yoga. May the benefits of this practice fall out into the rest of your day, your evening, and through till tomorrow. Together we say, Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for another practice, beautiful friends. I look forward to seeing you each and every week. I upload videos every Tuesday for a yoga practice and a stretch series every Thursday. I'm also adding a weekly Pilates practice to the list, so keep tuned, hit that subscribe button, and hopefully I can see you on the mat at least 2 to 3 times a week. Big love.